it by me? Just the red hair.
Look at that look.
There's Alex.
And Jake, you got your haircut.
She still has the one face on the boots.
Mother-in-law passed. Yeah. So I'm surprised. I don't know if his grandmother. But
Wow.
They were telling me you were scared of me. It's Murray.
you're okay.
Got rid of that boot camp, like,
Oh, you're right. Mr. Yarbrough.
and then she said if it's still there, she put in a tent ticket, whatever that means.
And you didn't tackle him or try to run him. That's a physical fitness, right?
Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to our January meeting. I call this meeting of the Bastrop Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Please stand and join me in the pledges. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
the Texas pledge.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Please remain standing for a second. We're going to ask Trustee Munchink to lead us in a word of prayer.
Please bow your heads. Most gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together here on this beautiful rainy evening. And Lord, I say beautiful because we know in this community that rain is beautiful. We want to thank you for that. Lord, we ask that you please bless this meeting. We ask that you please bless our presence here. We ask that you please give us wisdom for the decisions we make and help us to move Bastrop ISD forward in a very successful way. Lord, we also ask that you please be with the Peterson family tonight for their loss. And we ask that you please grant us safety on our way home. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. We're going to now listen to our student speaker. I want to ask Kayla Frank to start heading toward the front. We'll talk a little bit about Kayla before she gets started. She's a fourth grader at Lost Pines Elementary. Tonight she's going to speak on the character trait of loyalty. Kayla is in Green Team. She's UIL number sense, ready writing, GT. She enjoys drawing, reading, crafting, and talking with her friends. Kayla's mom is Heather Frank. If Heather's here, would you please stand and be recognized? Okay, Kayla, it's all yours.
Responsibility, faithfulness, dependability, and trust are all great components of loyalty. Loyalty is the faithfulness you give to someone or something because of your feelings of friendship, support, or duty. The author, Nicole Yatonsky, wrote, "Your truest friends are the ones who will stand by you in your darkest moments because they are willing to brave the shadows with you, and in your greatest moments because they're not afraid to let you shine." A loyal friend is dependable, which means they won't let you down. She will keep your secrets, yet be responsible enough to know whenever they need to be shared. She will encourage you to be the greatest you can and won't hold you back out of envy or jealousy. Loyalty isn't just about friendship. You can be loyal to your family, your school, your community, your country, and your loved ones. There are many ways that you can be loyal to your country. You can stand and put your hand over your heart when you say the Pledge of Allegiance. You can vote for who you think is the most loyal and responsible leader for our country. You should respect the flag and other symbols of the country. You could even make the ultimate sacrifice and join the military. The Marines have a motto, Semper Fidelis, which means always faithful. They believe that no one should leave a man behind, no matter the circumstances. They wouldn't let anyone who is not a Marine place judgment on their brothers. They take care of each other, brothers to the end. Loyalty needs to be earned day by day and given to those that deserve it. Eric Felton once wrote, "Loyalty is essential to the most basic things that make life livable. Without loyalty, there can be no love. Without loyalty, there can be no family. Without loyalty, there can be no friendship. Without loyalty, there can be no commitment to community or country. And without those things, there can be no society.
Thank you. Thank you, Kayla. It takes a lot of courage to stand up there. You did a great job. Now we're going to let the superintendent introduce his student advisory council.
Before I do that, let me say, Kayla, I was very impressed with that. That was very great. Thank you for being here tonight. We appreciate it. Just like Kayla being here, just wait as we have each month to do our character trait, and we're going to have some special recognition about the character program here in a little bit. We also, and I've said this so many times, we're blessed to have a school board that believes, as I do and our administrative team and so many of our principals do, that the greatest voice in our district is our students. If we don't listen to our students and really get a sense for what's going on and see school through their eyes, we're doing everybody a disservice. So as we do each regular school board, we haven't seen them in a couple of months because we didn't have our students here in December. We have students from our two student advisory councils, both Bastrop High School and Cedar Creek High School, and I want to introduce them at this time. Well, in fact, I'm going to do this. They're all pros. In fact, these students were specifically invited tonight because they have known the board for quite some time. They've interacted with our school board many times, both here at the board meetings and in other venues, and so I thought it was apropos during Board Recognition Month for these students to be here. So Hannah, we're going to start with you. Please stand up and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself. And you know what I'm going to ask you. Tell us your plans after graduation.
My name is Hannah Thompson. I'm from Cedar Creek High School. I have been on Mr. Murray's board here for 4 years. I have recently been accepted to Texas A&M University, Giga Maggies. I will be studying exercise sports physiology with a ambition to continue into athletic training as Major League Baseball. So.
Howdy, I'm Jake Kynarth. I'm a senior at Bastrop High School. Wow, what about myself? I'm going to UT. I'm going to major in English. I'm hoping after college to go to postgraduate school for something. And I hope to one day become a professional stand-up comedian. That's the goal. I'm not nearly as funny as I think I am. And that's all I really got to say about myself. Thank you very much for having me.
Jake, you got your parents in the audience. You got a great set of parents.
They're okay.
Hi, my name is Kirsten Watson. I'm a senior from Cedar Creek High School. I've been on the board. This is my second year now. I'm a little bit different than my two rivals right here, A&M and UT. I've chosen to start my experiences out in life by joining the Air Force right out of high school. I'm really excited. I'm really nervous, yet super excited about the ambition and like all the things that are going to happen afterwards, and just really excited about the experience. And so I'm really excited, and here you go.
Kirsten's always very excited.
I'm Alex Peterson. I'm a senior at BHS, and I've been on Mr. Murray's advisory board for 2 years, I want to say, right? And I play music. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I'd say that's an understatement. He plays music. Yeah. If y'all haven't heard the Peterson brothers, you need to get there quickly and listen to them. They're phenomenal. So thanks for being here. In fact, Alex is representing the family. Unfortunately, I think it was your grandma passed, and we want to give us your thoughts and prayers to everybody in your family.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you being here. You're filling in for Dad.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because Glenn couldn't be here. All right, we have a lot of recognition tonight. It's a night of recognition. We typically do that, but tonight and this month is a special month. It's the statewide recognition month for our Board of Trustees and for their selfless service. These folks, and I've said it for so many years now, this is my 18th year as a superintendent. So obviously I've worked very closely with school boards for 18 years now, and prior to that as a deputy superintendent, and even as a high school principal in a couple of places, worked with school boards very closely. And I just can't say enough about these folks and the time they give and And, you know, everybody gives about the same amount of time, give or take. We have meetings, we have this. But go beyond the time. I think it's very important to talk about their heart and how they really care about the students in this district, the support they show for the staff members of this district, and obviously the heart they show for this community to go ahead and serve as board members. And so many of them served for several years. I know James has been on the board the whole time I've been here and was on the board prior to that time and was actually a board member in another district. So he's a long-serving school board member. Unfortunately, Glenn couldn't be here tonight, and I think Glenn has served for many, many years on the board, and we just appreciate them. The theme this year is All-Stars, that our board members are all-stars in our eyes. As you'll see some of the things that are going on tonight, and they captured the theme. I want to thank Christy and all the folks who were responsible for putting the jerseys together. I understand those were our youngest kids. Some of our younger kids are actually multiple grade level kids that are in the STARS program, after school program. And they've got little messages on each of those jerseys for our board members. And we just think that's great. They did a great job. And you get a chance, you want to read those messages. I'm sure they're really neat. And then obviously we do this each year. We've got, and we doubled up this year, we've got 2 campuses that kind of doubled up and had a designated board member, and so I know they'll have something special planned. We've got some videos planned. We've got some recognition, some gifts, and we're excited about that. So without further ado, I want to do that, and I'll read the proclamation after that. That's the least of my concern here. There's a proclamation from the governor about the board month, recognition month. I'm more concerned about getting our kids up here and our staff to give recognition to our board, because that's more important to me. So we have an order, our folks coming up here, and I'm going to call them up as I see the order here. Well, first of all, let's make reference to the fact that from everybody, from to all of our board members from the Service Center, we had our refreshments out in the foyer, our cake and lemonade, and we have framed board photo available for each board member and for myself. I appreciate that. Banners obviously I've talked about the banners and so many other things. And that's just collectively from the administrative team, which I know many of our principals and directors and other folks are here tonight, and they're here specifically to show recognition and appreciation for our school board, because they do really appreciate everything they do for us and the support that they show. So we're going to start off with CCHS and Mina. Come on down.
Thank you so much for having us tonight. And we want to say thank you to our amazing board for all of your support and dedication that you have given us. We feel the support and we appreciate you so much. CCHS and Mina, we had Miss Seacats to recognize tonight, and thank you. So I'd like to present you with
Oh,
from my Art 4 students and Miss Doherty.
Wow.
oh, that is great.
On behalf of CCHS, thank you so much for your dedication.
Thank you.
School Board, Mina Elementary would also like to thank you for your dedication, support, and everything that you do for us. We look forward to having Miss Seacats at Mina at the end of the month to host her and show her around. And our art club made you something too. So we have a little sculpture here. It's very delicate, they said, so be very careful with it. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to my 4th grade teacher, Sunday Thompson, and we have something to present to all of you.
Yes, so every year we try to put together some sort of video that incorporates the children, which is sometimes a challenge with elementary students and understanding what a school board is. Literally, if you ask the majority of them, they think it's the whiteboard that's at the school. So trying to incorporate them in the video so that they have a little bit more better understanding of all that you do. So we have a video for that.
VISD School Board members, Mina Elementary would like to thank you for your service and support.
Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! For dedicating your time. Thank supporting music. Thank you for keeping our schools safe.
Thank you. Let's all celebrate. Thank you.
For recognizing our achievements.
Thank you for supporting technology.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's your pleasure?
Thank you for supporting the arts.
Thank you.
It's a celebration.
Thank you.
For making our schools better.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a celebration.
For taking a stand on important issues.
Thank you.
We're gonna have a good
Thank you.
Let's celebrate.
For basing your decision on the best interest of our students.
Good time tonight.
Thank you.
It's all right, baby. We're gonna have a
Thank you.
Let's celebrate.
Thank you for supporting our students and staff.
We're gonna have a good time.
Thank you.
It's all right.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to thank everybody on the school board and everybody involved with Bastrop ISD. We support our libraries and we thank you for all of your support too.
Thank you, James Allen. Thank you, Ashley Buchnick. Thank you, Glenn Peterson. Thank you, Marlon McClure. Thank you, Callie C. Katz. Thank you, Matthew Mick. Thank you, Billy Moore.
Let's celebrate.
That was great, thank you. Thank you. Next up, Cedar Creek Middle School and Gateway.
Okay, good afternoon to everyone. I'm Patricia Alford. I'm the principal over at Gateway. And this year, we implemented an art class. And so our art teacher, he took on this project. It was very, very interesting. We had the students, they asked a lot of questions about what do board members do, and we had those conversations. And we said, basically, what you all do is you do what's best for students in this district. And so one of the students said, well, Mr. Allen should get an Academy Award. And I was like, yeah, that's true, he should. And so the other students start talking about, we know our theme is All-Star. The other students say, yeah, he's kind of headed in the right direction. So they began to create their own little theme. And they wanted to give him an award that says a step in the right direction. And they did the little Nike shoe. To let you know, you get the Academy Award.
Okay, I'm Edgar Rincon, principal at Cedar Creek Middle School, and on behalf of CCMS, we'd like to thank the board for everything that you do. And what we have for specifically for Mr. Allen, got a goodie bag, sir, with a bunch of CCMS gear. We have a coffee cup that says Cedar Creek Middle School on there. We have a couple of shirts in there. When you attend our games, you can suit up and attend, and then along with a Cedar Creek bag. And also, we do have a letter that a student wrote to the school board members, and we picked the best one. I'd like to read it to you right now. Okay, so this is by one of our students, Tiffany Lawrence, and it says, Our school is a place to learn life lessons. The school board does a wonderful job at keeping our schools safe and safe learning environment. Children usually don't take time to notice what school helps us with. In fact, it may teach you some lifelong lessons along the way. Some teens think it is a time to visit with friends, and the school is super boring. Teachers try to educate us, and most children take it for granted. And the school board helps in making decisions on what teachers teach us. The school board is a group of people that want to make schools better and safer for teens and young children to learn. At my school, some kids think that teachers want to punish them by giving them work, but 98% of the time, it is going to help them in the long run. I would like to thank all of our school board members, staff, and this is my favorite part, and our wonderful principal for making our schools safer and a better learning environment for our teens and young children.
Next up is representatives from Bastrop Middle School and Lost Pines Elementary.
All right, good evening. On behalf of Lost Pines Elementary, we want to thank our school board for all that you do, for all of your support, the commitment that it takes, and the dedication for our students and for our community. And so tonight, we've got Kayla, Destiny, Braden, and where's Kane? And Kane's back here. Wave, Kane. Our Miss Sand, our art teacher, and our art club has made this. And if y'all want to walk right up there and give that to Mr. Muchink. And what they decided in the theme of All-Stars is that because of our school board and because of Mr. Muchink, that our school board is helping them to become the All-Stars. And then Kane and Braden also have a Lost Pines shirt and a little footprint, because our theme at Lost Pines is exploring the world and leaving an imprint. And so they've got a little imprint keychain for you. And on that star right there, some of our explorers left their imprint with their little thumbprints on there. So, yeah.
Can I get you guys to look this way, everybody? Great.
So I'm Chris Julian. I get to serve as the principal of Bastrop Middle School. And stay up here, Mr. Muchink, you're not done yet. So, but one of the amazing things, we love our school board, and we feel so supported at our campuses. So I just have to tell a little story before we get to the video and Mackenzie presents that I think kind of, it just epitomizes the support that we feel. So I'm out at bus duty one day, and Ashley's coming up in his truck, dropping his child off, and he leans out the window and he says, "Hey, Chris, you know you got some kids going over to Dunkin' Donuts." And I think I give him that look, all right, like it's 8, all right, it's going to be one of those days. But he looks at me and he just goes, "You need a ride?" And I was like, "Yes, sir, I do." So we drove over and helped redirect those students back to Bastrop Middle School, but it's whatever it takes. And we really do feel that from all of our board members, all of you guys on our campus, and we really, really appreciate you. So we have a quick video. Hopefully it'll work.
Thank you, Mr. Muchnik, for everything that you do for BMS. Go Bears! Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank
you for your dedication to us.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for your support.
All right.
And then next we have Mackenzie Henderson, and she's just going to talk a little bit, and thank you.
Hi. Well, there's nothing like giving a speech not even 24 hours after getting your braces. Anyways, I'd just like to thank you for everything that y'all do for our district. It really means a lot to know that you all care so much and that you take time out of your busy lives to deal with the problems and concerns of our school. And furthermore, to help benefit our education and lives. You really do deserve an entire month of recognition and appreciation. And on behalf of BMS, our advanced art department made this thank you sign for y'all. And at BMS, we do this thing called Bear Time, where we take 10 minutes a day and we read. And so the girls and guys in advanced art class, they did like little characters from their favorite like books and graphic novels. So yeah, and go class of 2021.
All right, next up, we have folks from Bluebonnet and Emile. He has hands full. Wow.
Good evening. I'm Jennifer Onetsky from Emile Elementary, and this evening we brought in one of our first graders, Colton Adams. Our board member that we're recognizing, both Emile and Bluebonnet, is Mr. Billy Moore, and the students worked on a sign, the last sign of thank you, a big thank you card for you with the sports theme because you're all-star. And also, I don't know if you realize, but when you say Mr. Moore many, many times when you're in primary, it sounds like Mr. S'more. So, Mr. S'more, we want to share this because we want to see more and more of S'more of you. So, thank you, sir.
All right.
So we hope you enjoy your s'mores basket.
Back up again.
So, Mr. Moore, as you enjoy your basket full of s'mores goodies, and we hope to see s'more of you this year, we actually have a coupon book for both Bluebonnet as well as Emile. So you have coupons to be principal for a day. It's a great thing. Story time for any class. You have the opportunity to work AM or PM car rider duty. Okay. Physical education aid for a day. Librarian's aid for the day. 4th grade recess duty. And I think my colleagues and I can all agree the favorite part of the day, kindergarten lunch duty. Yeah, just a sec. And then also, Mr. Moore, I don't know if you remember, but last year when my school was fundraising, you donated a photograph of yours for a silent auction. And we actually all put in and purchased the photograph, so it's there still on campus. So what we did is gave the photograph to a 4th grade class, and the students wrote poems about him, about your image, because we just concluded our poetry unit. So here is one of the poems. River, oh river, I walk through the land and see such a sight. This must be a dream, almost, not quite. Waves of white wind whirled free, just like Mother Nature's gift to me. The colors of the water, like Mother Nature's homemade rainbow of light, like Mother Nature is there herself. It's such a beautiful sight. River, oh river, so wild and free. River, oh river, like you're just a gift for me. So thank you very much, Mr. Moore, for all you do. And to the rest of the school board, you are greatly, greatly appreciated.
All right, next we have Red Rock Elementary and Bastrop Intermediate School.
Good evening. I want to thank all of you so much for your support in making Bastrop ISD a great place to work, but more importantly, a great place for our kids to learn and grow, and we really appreciate that. So tonight we're going to honor Miss McClure, and Miss McClure is a regular visitor on our campus, and we're so excited to have her all the time. She has supported so very much our push towards literacy development and a love of books and reading for kids. So our children have written you letters thanking you, describing what you do as a school board member. Some very interesting things you probably didn't even know that you did in those letters. But a book for you to keep, and also a canvas that our students have created with their handprints, and we want to thank you for your support.
So I'm Stephen Autry. I'm the principal of Bastrop Intermediate School. I want to follow up the other afternoon. Ashley and I were picking up trash down by the fence at BIS. So whatever it takes, everywhere we go. Now, Miss McClure, last year you got a beautiful red photo that hangs above your mantle. Is it still there? So we're gonna. We're gonna change it. We're gonna change that out. Okay. So here's what we did. We turned 10 and 11-year-olds loose with a camera, and so they created a video for you. And from now on, you will be the Cure. I'm gonna just refer to you as the Cure because, you know, after you say Mr. Moore becomes Mr. S'more, and when kids write their cue cards and they leave out the L in your name, you become Miss McCure. So during the video, and you will be referred to as the Cure from here on out.
Welcome to Goliath All-Star News. If you didn't know, January is Scoreboard Recognition Month.
Yes, it is, and we have an all-star school board member here at Bastrop ISD. Miss Molly McCure is a dedicated school board member serving our school district and doing an all-star job.
Well, that got us thinking about what other all-stars we could find around our campus, so we sent our student reporters out to find more all-stars.
Hi, Kevin Osborne from Kodiak News. Are y'all ready about all-stars?
Yes, we were, but if you want to do a story on an all-star, then you should talk to Mrs. Molly McCure. She is our all-star school board member.
You did know that it is school board recognition month, didn't you?
Yeah, I did actually. Thanks for helping. Bye.
Hello, this is Kodiak News. Are you our all-star chess team practicing for the chess tournament?
No, we're just playing for fun, but if you want to do an interview about an all-star, then you should interview our all-star school board member, Miss Molly McCure.
After all, it's a school board recognition every time.
Thank you very much.
Hi, this is Cody from Kodiak News. Are y'all trying out for the soccer? No, we're just playing for fun, but if you want to do an interview about an all-star, then you should do the all-star interview of the school board member, Molly McCure.
After all, it is school board recognition month.
Thank you very much.
This is Kodiak News. Are you training for an all-star basketball team?
No, I'll just do some doing for fun, but if you want to do a review about an all-star, you should review Miss Molly McCure after all the school board recognition month.
Hello, this is Kodiak News. Are you trying out for an all-star softball team?
No, I was just playing for fun, but if you want to do an interview of an all-star, then you should interview the school board member, Miss Molly McCure. After all, it is school board recognition month.
Hello, this is Kodiak News. All-Star News. What are you working on?
We're working on a project to thank the school board member, Miss McClure. It's an abstract design.
Thank you. Thank you for your beautiful art.
Okay, ready?
We love you, Miss McClure. We love you, Miss McClure.
Miss McCure, you're our all-star school board member.
Miss McCure, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, Cedar Creek Intermediate School and Circa and Genesis.
Hello, Dr. Mix. We came up. Well, he fixes bones, adjust people correctly. So, thank you, Dr. Mix.
That's cool.
For making the adjustments for BISD to succeed.
All right.
Thank you for all that you do for the community and with the DEF and with the school board. We have a lot of students that really need you and need your voices. All of you. Thank you very much. We made a little video, but maybe we should do that.
Go ahead and do your video.
Okay. Our pals and Miss Lucio and Miss Wen and our instructional coach, Miss Rathman, made a little video. Well, it's kind of a video. It has music. It's kind of a PowerPoint. It's kind of a slideshow.
This song is for those who inspire us today, who always lend a helping hand to help show us the way. This song is for those who see their students through the tough times in their lives. For that we say thank you. You have made a difference. You have shaped our minds. You have changed the world, one child at a time. You have always been there in everything you do. I hope that you're as proud of me as I am proud of you. This song is for those who heard the silent cries, who stepped in to wipe the tears from the children's eyes. For those who gave us a safe place to grow, a place for us to call our home. Forever we will know that you have made a difference. You have shaped our minds. You have changed the world, one child at a time. You have always been there in everything you do. I hope that you're as proud of me as I am proud of you. This song is for those who taught us right from wrong, who taught us much more than their craft to help our minds grow strong. This song is for those who guide us through and through, so that we can make a life. For that we say thank you. You have made a difference. You
Okay, that's a very tough act to follow. I'm going to attempt. Genesis High School and the Colorado River Collegiate Academy thank all of you for all of your support. Dr. Mix, we decided that we needed some more T-shirts out there in the community. This is Genesis High School. And thank you. And then this is our circuit T-shirt for this year. This painting right here is actually done by Tennille West, who's a junior at Circus. So you get to wear the art from our students, although we don't have an art class. And then we also have a video tribute that was put together by Mr. Pena and Miss Brandon. Miss Brandon here, she's half of the M&M production crew. We'll go ahead and play that video.
I want everybody to get up off your seat and get your arms together and your hands together and give me some of that old soul blessing. You didn't have to love me like you did, but you did, but you did. And I thank you. You didn't have to squeeze me like you did, but you did, but you did. And I thank you. If you took your love somewhere else, I wouldn't know what it meant to be loved to death. You make me feel like I never felt. Since it's so good, I have to holler for help. You didn't have to squeeze me like you did, but you did, but you did. And I thank you. You didn't have to hold me like you did, but you did, but you did. And I thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mix.
Nice. All right, last but not least, we certainly want to show the appreciation and recognition for Mr. Pierce, even though he couldn't be here. And again, Alex is filling in for his dad.
The gifts will go to you.
That's right.
The gifts will go to him.
That's right. Gifts. He said the gifts are coming to him. Bastrop High School and Cedar Creek Elementary.
Hi, I'm Missy Schulke, one of the assistant principals at Bastrop High School. And we weren't sure if Mr. Peterson knew that we have some all-star amazing talent at Bastrop High School. His name is Alex Peterson. So we got a autographed picture for him. And then a jar of Bertall pecans, because we would go nuts without his support as well as y'all. So y'all also have a signed picture and a jar of nuts. But just joking, we have him some all-star swag. We took a old Bastrop High School shirt and made a newsboy hat for him that he likes to wear. And then we got an actual, cool cap for him to wear. And then he has some Adidas. We were told by a little birdie that he liked Adidas tennis shoes. So we got him a pair and a Bastrop High School backpack, and then his favorite gum, which is Blue Freedent. Alex, please go home and tell your dad that we really do appreciate him.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, I'm on schedule.
Yeah, don't forget that autograph picture.
Good evening, everyone. And on behalf of CCE, we have a very cute calendar for Mr. Peterson, student art, and it's an entire month, years, and everything together. But we also have a set of student art cards for you, for every single one of you. We appreciate your support. We appreciate everything that you do for our children, for our staff, for our community as well. Thank you very much.
I want to thank all our campuses for showing special recognition for these dedicated folks. There's some other dedicated folks that are behind the scenes that we want to make sure we don't forget. And we've got some here with us tonight. and I don't necessarily want to put them on the spot, but I will because I do that. But we have spouses of our board members, and they sacrifice a lot too with all the meetings we have, with some conference time and things of that nature, and just some of the stress that does come every once in a while with the job of being a board member. It's a highly paid job, by the way. Yeah, well, look at the payment tonight. It was great. But we have some spouses that we want to recognize, and I know I saw Trish and Leon. Do we have any other spouses here tonight? Is it just Trish and Leon? But we have flowers. Yes, for you, Leon. Yeah. No, we have something special for Leon and for Alan Seacats, and then we have some flowers. And since you're here, we will have you come forward. And I definitely will give the flowers to Trish. You're not wearing shorts. You're doing good. But we do have a bouquet of flowers for all the other spouses that couldn't be here tonight, and we'll make sure that's going to be up to y'all now. You got to take them home, your spouses. And then another gift for Alan as well. We just want to say thank you to our spouses and make sure we don't forget them again, because they do give of their time through their spouses in service to the board and the district. So we want to make sure we give them proper recognition and appreciation. James, I think you're next.
Yes, yeah. Doing some recognition, it's really an honor to be able to recognize this next lady. I've known her for a long time. But I'd like for Miss Evelyn Weiler to come forward. And I'm just gonna talk a little bit about her. She heard about character education in 1996 while serving as a Bastrop School Board member, where she actually served 12 years in this spot where we're at. So she did 4 times 3. She did 4 terms in this spot. So we really appreciate that. It's 1989 to 2001. So she is a former board member. A little bit about hearing the speakers brought her back to the concept to Bastrop County. On August the 7th of 2007, the Bastrop City Council voted because of her promotion to make Bastrop a city of character in 2007. And in 2011, the Bastrop County Commissioners voted Bastrop a county of character. In 2011, Smithville voted, the council, for Smithville to be a city of character. And then in December, December of 11, Elgin did a city of character. If you own a small business in town, you're going to get a car that pulls up to your business once a month. It's going to be Miss Weiler. She's going to drop off a poster. She does it every time. She doesn't have anybody do it for her. How do I know this? Because she's done it for several years with my office and everybody else's office that's around. So she's quite an amazing person. She over-delivers in this community to bring character. And one of the reasons that we have the Character Trait Month is because of Ms. Weiler. And it's really nice that we have students that come up and get the experience of writing a letter and also getting to read it. And like you saw tonight for a 4th grader, it's not easy, but it's fantastic that they're able to do that. So we want to recognize you, Ms. Weiler, and if you would love to say a couple of words, we would love to hear from you.
Want to pull that down there, Barry?
A couple of words.
You know, I'm very deft at this. A couple of words is about all I want to say. I want to thank all of the board members for their service. Having been there, I understand the time and effort that it takes, and congratulations to you on this recognition month. A board meeting that I have just witnessed is a far cry from what it was a few years ago, but I am proud of what's going on here. I'm also proud of so many folks being in attendance to show that they care what's happening in the schools of Bastrop ISD. So that's my major impression tonight. And I also want to mention that my husband, Mr. Otto Weiler, has been a big part. If he were not driving me each month to deliver posters, they may never get there. Anyway, I thank you very much for your dedication and for the recognition. Not deserved for me, but for what you have done for the students in the community of Bastrop. Thank you.
Thank you,
Ms.
Evelyn.
Wilder.
I think Evelyn would appreciate me mentioning that, sometimes when somebody starts something and then they decide they're going to step aside and not do that anymore, it goes away. Well, this has been so significant for the city, all the cities involved, and the county, Bastrop County, that the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce has decided to pick up the mantle and keep the program going, the character program. And that's a credit to you, Evelyn, for everything that you and Otto have done. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. All right.
We do want to recognize Mr. Weilert. Otto Weilert is with her. We want to thank him for his attendance as well. All right, Steve, we're going to move on.
Yeah,
to-
real quick, Dr. Godinez is going to come forward again. Dolores. Each month, we ask one of our principals or a department leader to come and talk to the Chamber of Commerce and do a spotlight on their campus or their department. And Dr. Godinez did that for us this month at the Chamber, and then we asked her to do the same at the board meeting. Dolores?
Thank you and good evening, everyone. President Allen, Superintendent Murray, and school board members. It's a pleasure for me to be here before you to brag about what's happening at CCE and to share with you some of our highlights. First and foremost, I have to say that I'm absolutely proud of our teachers. We are strong at CCE because of our staff and teachers. They go above and beyond. There is not a single weekend that the school is empty. There's always work in there. And we do this with love and dedication for our children, just like you are giving us your love and dedication and time to the entire community of Bastrop ISD. Once again, it's an honor for me to be here before you. We are happy to say that talking about academics, which is probably what we do the most in our classrooms, is we are leading the district in our writing scores so far based on the AT. That's something that makes us really, really proud, but not because of that we are resting at this time. We're planning, we're prepping, we're making sure that everybody is getting the education and the targeted instruction that they need to be successful. We're also very proud of our math scores so far. We are trying to find the best resources for our children and the best PD for our teachers as well. And on that light, we have some amazing teachers that have been able to carry that torch and train and lead other teachers that are new to our campus, our district. And we have had in-house PD all year long in different areas as well. In terms of other things that we have been doing with the children and for the community as well, we have our science fair coming up coming next week on the 26th of January. And the top 8 projects then go to the Austin Science Fair on February the 18th. We have everything ready to go, and children have been getting the materials and resources that they need to do that at home if they're doing that individually or as groups in their classes. Our PLCs and planning sessions with teachers are aligned and involve teachers, coaches, and administrators. We're proud to say that because of this kind of collaboration, we are able to make sure that everybody's getting what they need according to the scope and sequence dictated by the district, and we know that is the best that our children can get at this time of the year. We have our librarian is new to our school district and to our school, and she has come with many, many amazing ideas for us to expand the area of literacy into other areas and reach children from different venues. She has created a maker space, which is a thinkery area in our library that is very in vogue right now, and she has a genius hour, what we call a genius hour, in which children can come, sign up, and create things on their own, and she guides them. She's amazing with that. She has been doing a lot of reading and book activities, such as Battle of the Books, book fairs that we had one in December, and we'll have another one in May. We are doing Read Across America, or Dr. Seuss' birthday, which is March the 2nd. We are doing Dia de los Niños, April the 30th, or Day of the Child. And we're also doing Children Book Week on May 1 through the 5th, so you're more than welcome to come to any of these activities to support us. In terms of our counselor area, we are doing Pennies for Patients this week, and it will go through February the 3rd. So far, today was our first day, and it's literally pennies that the children are bringing, and on day one, we collected $250 already. So that was a great start. Also, we're doing the Great Kindness Challenge, which is we're joining the rest of Bastrop Elementaries in this national campaign to create a culture of kindness on campus. Children also need to learn that it's not always just what we receive, but also what we give, and that's part of that. Another couple of initiatives that we've done this school year is having coffee with the principal bi-monthly, and so far it's well attended. It's going to the community. Parents come and visit with the administrators, and they ask questions. We do walkthroughs to the classrooms, and we inform them more one-on-one what's happening in the classroom as well. Another initiative school-wide that we're doing is a Toy Day, or a day in which the children are able to bring a toy. And this is for displaying good behavior in the cafeteria. We give them once a month, if they have good behavior throughout the month, we give them like about 30 to 45 minutes in which they get to be children, and they come to the cafeteria for 30 or 45 minutes, and I watch them. It's amazing to see them, just recreate their environment with literally dolls or cars or just stuffed animals or something like that. And this is prime time for teachers because they get to spend that 45 minutes or 30 minutes to play with their own planning. And that's been really good. The children are enjoying it, and the teachers are getting a little bit of extra support that is always needed to plan. So once again, we welcome you at CCE. We thank you for your support. It's been, so far, this first semester has been an amazing ride for me, being new to the district. I thank you, everybody in the Service Center. I thank you for your dedication as well. I know that we'll come back here probably in 4 months and give you very good results. Thank you.
Thanks, Dolores.
Thank you.
I think that's it for a recognition.
And nobody signed up? Okay.
No open forum, so we'll move on to the public hearing.
We're going to move on with any before we get to the public hearing, any impressions by our special guests here on all that you've already?
No comment.
No comment, okay, okay. Huh? Hannah, you're very special. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I know.
I have a question for you, Hannah. Why would you not want to be a school board member after you see the love we get from you?
No comment. Just go with no comment.
Your job, but I don't want your job.
That's a good answer.
Jake, no comedian feedback on Mr. S'mores over here.
That's a solid, well-crafted joke.
That's good.
I like it.
From a pro, I can appreciate it.
Very good, very good. All right, well, we'll get into some other topics. Maybe we'll get our students to weigh in on some things. But Panay Leifer is going to do our taper report.
So, good evening, Mr. Allen, school board members, Mr. Murray. On behalf of the Curriculum and Instruction Department, we also would like to thank you for all your time, hard work, dedication to our district and to our community. So I'm going to apologize up front. I do not have a video with cool music, any adorable children. All I have are numbers. So I'm going to have to step up my game, obviously, for next year.
Just say thank you. 20
Thank
times.
you. Yeah. So TEA requires the districts to do a public hearing on our Texas Academic Performance Report, which we call the TAPER. We have to have this done by the February board meeting, so maybe next year I'll do it in February so I don't have all this competition. But first of all, we want to start with, okay, so here we go. We want to say that for 2016, our accountability rating for BISD is met standard. The district met standard as well as all of our campuses, so we're very proud of that information. Secondly, BISD has received several distinctions. BHS has academic achievement in social studies, post-secondary readiness. Cedar Creek High School, academic achievement in science, post-secondary readiness. And Circa has received academic achievement in English language arts, math, science, top 25% in student progress, top 25% in closing achievement gaps, as well as post-secondary readiness. So at this time, I want to spotlight that all 3 of our high schools received the post-secondary readiness distinction. Moving into the middle school, Bastrop Middle School, they received academic achievement in science. At our intermediate level, Cedar Creek Intermediate, academic achievement in science as well. And for elementaries, we have Blue Bot Elementary School, academic achievement in math, post-secondary readiness. And second, Cedar Creek Elementary, academic achievement in mathematics, and the top 25% in student progress. So we would like to highlight our student profile information. What I would like to say is this is information that's not new. It's stuff that's come out in August. So the information that you're going to receive tonight is just in a different report format, which we call the taper. So you can see that we have a large Hispanic population at almost 63%. We have a very large economically disadvantaged population, 65.1%. English language learners serving 24.1%, and we have a large at-risk population at almost 65%. So now we're going to talk about some academic performances. This first slide is for the district. It's all grades, all the tests, and it will be reading, math, writing, science, and social studies. I'm not going to read the numbers on these slides, but I'll give everybody a few minutes to review the information. We'll move into our elementary campuses. In 3rd grade, it'll be reading and math that's assessed. In 4th grade, reading, math, and writing. Moving into the intermediate campuses, 5th grade, the students are assessed in reading, math, science. 6th grade is reading and math. Our middle school performances, 7th grade, the students are assessed in reading, math, and writing. 8th grade, all 4 contents, reading, math, science, and social studies. Then we'll move into our high school campuses, the end of course exams, EOCs. The students are taking an English 1, English 2, Algebra 1, Biology, and U.S. History assessments. Okay, then we will move into BISD performance where we met and or exceeded progress. We have an all subjects category, and then they also do the met and exceeds progress on reading and math. The next slide talks about our attendance. It shows our attendance over the course of 3 years. Then we show our progress with advanced course and dual credit completion, 9th grade through 12th grade. All subjects, English, math, science, and social studies. This shows how college-ready graduates that are leaving Bastrop Independent School District in English and math. And this slide shows how our students do after completing 1 year of higher education without any type of remediation in college. And lastly, what we would like to say for Bastrop Independent School District, we are very proud of our past, our people, and our performance. You guys received a copy of the actual 22-page taper report in your documentation that y'all received last week. So at this time, I will take any questions that you may have.
Renee,
Yes, ma'am.
as we look, we're always continuing to work hard. And
Yes, ma'am.
what is the focus that you see for the upcoming year with our students and our instruction?
Okay, so one of the things that we have done this school year is we've reorganized our curriculum instruction department. We brought on 4 content specialists so that they're able to serve our campuses. They're doing that with administration, they're doing that with teachers, they're in the PLCs, they are doing classroom observations, providing feedback, recommendations as needed. They're also developing district-wide rigorous curriculum documents that align with the state. Another thing that we're doing district-wide is we are developing a curriculum management plan, and this is really where we're going to house all of our curriculum documents in one place, and it's going to be a roadmap of how we do take care of our learning in our district. In that curriculum management plan, the components of that are going to be the curriculum documents, teaching and learning model, the resources that we use in the district. It'll have a professional development plan in it. It'll include all the automated systems that we have in our department. It will have budgeting and staffing implications, as well as data analysis systems and program evaluations. So that's a really big document that we are developing. It's about a 3-4 year project, but each year we'll roll out additional pieces to that. We feel that that'll really bring a lot of consistency to how we do our business in Bastrop. We've also brought a software called Plan for Learning to Bastrop ISD. That's how we are consistently doing our district improvement plan as well as our campus improvement plans. We have outside agencies doing some audits of our key practices. One of those is our response to intervention, RTI, as well as we're just now starting the PLC protocol. So we're going to have somebody come in and analyze how we're doing those parts of our business to make sure that we're doing it as efficiently, as effectively as we can. We are implementing year 1 of our Writers Workshop through Heart of Texas. We are already starting to work on what those summer plans look like for year 2. We currently use the Readers Workshop. We are not getting the results that we would like to see, so our ELA specialist is already starting to work designing how we are going to evaluate those practices to see what we need to tweak to move it forward so that we do get the results that we want to see. And another thing that we've done just recently is our accountability department. They held 3 data institutes for our campus administrative teams so that they could come together as a team from 4:30 to 6:30 in the evening so they're not off campus. We are trying to consistently across the district look at our data so that we're better able to serve our students as well as document how we are meeting student progress. So Jason, do you have anything you want to add that I may have left out?
Everything she mentions is aligned K-12, and that's pretty significant as we speak to you tonight about the results. Having a seamless K-12 system allows us to monitor and program monitor all the processes that we do. And as kids move through the system, there's a lot of consistency there. That's what we're in charge of at the curriculum department. Another thing that we've done is we've trained 13 campus teams in instructional rounds where they go in and they find a problem of practice and then they develop a team internal and we have an external team and we go and walk the campus and we see along with teacher feedback, teachers are with us on this team, and we analyze instruction during this time. So it's a really robust program, very proud of that. Again, K-12 there. Also, our SIOP, our Structured Instructional Protocol, has been trained completely all the way through in both phases, both K-12, all through our system here. And we've done all of this in 6 months. So we've been pretty busy. These people are tired and haggard. Our principals are smiling tonight, but they're tired as well. It's a great team. I also want to reiterate that we're in our first year of T-Test too. I mean, the evaluation system changed for teachers as well and principals. This process is about 4 meetings per teacher, and it's pretty lengthy and rigorous. And so our principals have been engaged in the dialogue of instruction pretty regularly since September. So very proud of their work and what we're doing there. As she mentioned, we're auditing lots of things, including pre-AP and AP at this time. We sent a survey out to our pre-AP and AP teachers, and what the most resonating responses throughout all of our responses is that the training component for pre-AP is not as robust as AP, and you find that, and we know that exists, but it's very widespread from our 5th grade all the way up to our high school level. So we're going to set a plan in place to develop our pre-AP, AP programs in their training as well. So we've been pretty busy.
Thank you. And it is, yeah, I'd like to reverse the thank you that all of y'all have given us, because we have seen the work that has been taking place in the last few years. And this year, I know you have been really moving forward, and I know everyone's exhausted. I'm sure they are, but it's all for the kids, and I know that's where everyone's, all the energy is being put. So thank you for giving us that, all that information. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Any other questions?
Yeah, Panay, does the state accountability system, does it change your game plan at all? Because we know that it's pretty hard to keep up with them.
We're already doing a lot of great things for our students in BISD. So it really doesn't change what we're doing. It does help us look at things differently, but we're going to continue doing what we do for our kids and do what's right. So.
It's probably pretty frustrating for you as it is for us, is every time you learn something, you turn around, they change it.
Well, it is. When you met standard on every campus and at the district level, and then this other system comes out and it doesn't look the same, but it's the same data, that's very challenging.
But we stay the course, evidently.
Yes, we do. Yes, sir.
Well, I appreciate what you guys are doing with you and Dr. Hewitt.
Thank you. Okay, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Panay and Jason. We go down to, everything else is for information, and we come down to election update. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me go through that real quick. On each Thursday, unless we cancel for a short agenda, each Thursday before the regular board meeting of each month, we have a agenda review meeting. And we had one this past Thursday, and that was our first, or actually our second time to talk about our election update, if you will. We talked about the percentages of both the bond and the TRE election that we held back in November, the bond being much closer to almost 54% against, and almost close to 47% for, give or take percentages there. But we feel like it was very close. There were so many things weighing on the election at that time, the national scene. We had 12,000. For the people that don't know, we typically have 4,000 voters on a good election cycle. In Bastrop County, we had 16,000 come through the polls. And so, either people came in, were dead set against or for the bond and the TRE. Many of them came in, didn't know what they were at all. They were just there to vote for on the national scene. And depending on what their demeanor was, they weren't going to vote for something they didn't understand, or they might have had just a kind of a negative slant about the whole situation. So we feel like we were pretty close on the bond. But that's been the discussion. What other adjustments can we make? And we've got some feedback. We did a post-election survey that went out. We had about 460 respondents. About 60, a little over 60% was staff, and close to 40% was community members or parents and or students who might have taken the survey. And so we got some good information on that. It really kind of lent itself to what we had already believed. That it may have been too much at one time with the bond and the TRE. The TRE is not as understandable because it's not as customary or as traditional as bonds are in most communities, so people didn't understand the TRE, even though we did our best to try to explain how that revenue is generated, both at the state level and locally, and how important it is for us going forward for teacher salaries, for program update improvements, adjustments, and things of that nature. Just the day-to-day operations of a very large organization, or business actually, when you're talking about a school district of our size. So suffice to say, we've done a lot of discussion. We'll continue to have more discussion about the possibility of going back out again, either for one or the other of the referendums or both, but there's been no decisions made. If there is a decision made to go forward in the May cycle, because for bonds in the state of Texas, you have 2 election dates. You're allowed to have those bond elections. Those are the general election dates in both May and November. For TREs, there's some flexibility. You can have it at different times of the year, not just those May and November dates. So a lot of things have to be taken into consideration. I will add that some of the feedback we also got was that some folks didn't see like seemed like there was enough of certain things in the bond per se, the bond referendum. We got some of that feedback. We actually did some walkthroughs in some other facilities, most notably Bastrop High School, because of some of the upkeep, maintenance, and improvements that are seen as necessary over there. In addition, just the other day, we brought the architect back, and myself and Mr. Edwards, and we walked some other facilities that we feel like might need some updates or upgrades in a possible future bond election or bond referendum, and that was notably because of their remote proximity to the campus was our softball and baseball facilities. For the folks that know, baseball is over in Lovers Lane, pretty far away from Bastrop High School, and the softball field is not as quite as far away, but still remote access. So we looked at some dressing facility possibilities and things of that nature. We also looked specifically at some of the career technology areas that we referenced during the bond program in trying to educate people about the needs we had, specifically looking at the ag facility that existed for that use over at Lovers Lane site and how we could refurbish that and use that again for ag facility. It's been used for maintenance for many years, by maintenance for many years. And then adding a facility for the Cedar Creek zone in that same vein, because we've gotten a lot of feedback even prior to the bond election campaign and the TRE that from our folks whose kids are involved all across the district in raising animals, FFA, 4-H, that type of thing, that there's just not enough facilities for those kids unless they live on a ranch or a farm or they have a friend that will allow them to keep their animals. So just trying to get as much feedback from folks as possible. So we feel like if we come back with the bond specifically, we'll have some adjustments to that bond program that hopefully will allow people to see that there are some things in there that maybe they didn't see before, or that we've really tried to make some justifiable adjustments to that. So that's where we are as far as the update on the election. Like I said, no decision has been made, but if we do go forward with the bond election, which would again be on the both actually the bond and the TRE and/or we would need to call by the February of 17th for the May election. We would most likely call before that if we indeed bring it to the board, because our regular board meeting date for February is February 22nd. So we would most likely call for an earlier meeting to be able to meet that February 17th deadline if that's what we choose to do. Any questions or comments from our trustees on the topic? No, like I said, still in the works, still a lot of discussion going on, but that's where we are with our election update at this time.
Thank you, Steve. We're going to now move on to our consent agenda.
Mr. President, I make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented, A through F.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda, item 4A through F. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. We're now going to move to our single action item and ask Mr. Les Hudson to come forward.
Mr. Allen?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Murray, board members, each year the Texas Extension Agency asks that we add the extension agents to adjunct faculty at Bastrop ISD. They just currently hired a new member. Her name is April Kunk, and they're asking to add her as adjunct faculty. Are there any questions? Thank you very much.
You're going to take action on that, right, Les?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. President, I move to appoint the new extension agent and the agreement that's presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the adjunct faculty appointment for Bastrop County, Texas 4-H organization. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. Before we go, we're going to go into closed session, but before we go, we wanted to thank everybody for coming to our January meeting. You are welcome to stay. Don't know how long we'll be. but it shouldn't be long. But on behalf of the board, we really appreciate all the efforts that went out to the thank yous, but in return, we want to thank you guys for doing everything that you do. So we will either see you in a little while, or we'll see you next month, either way.
Before we leave, we haven't heard very much from our students.
Oh,
Do you
oh.
have any comments, questions?
I had a question, but I saved it for the side. I didn't want to say it out loud, so I've already asked.
Yeah? I have a question for Jake. I know your parents. What happened? What happened? Did you lose a bet?
I'm not quite sure what happened. I ask myself that question nearly every day.
Thank you, James.
It just became time, you know.
I like the look.
That's great.
I like it. I like it. I had to say something.
I did actually have one serious question. You were talking, Mr. Murray, earlier about whether or not you guys think you would push the May election for the bond. Why or why not would you take that? Like, why would you not try and shoot it again?
Well, it's a good question, Jake. Actually, it's probably more about why that we might look at it, because it's, as I said when we were going through the campaign the first time, and y'all probably heard me say this at Student Advisory Council, that it wasn't about desire or extravagance, it was about need, and the need doesn't go away. And in fact, when you look at the longer you go down the line, every 6 months and then a year, interest rates start to go up, construction costs go up, so the longer we wait, then we may have to adjust the figures that we already had in that original bond program, which we talked about adjusting for other additions and things of that nature. But it's a good question. So yes, that would really fuel the question more about why would we, more so than why not. But but again, you have to take everything into consideration. The voters came out, whatever pressures were weighing on them from the national election, like I referenced or not, and said to us on both referendums, no, at that time. Much closer than we were on the bond than the TRE. So again, we have to regroup. We have to talk about if we're going to do that, how would we present? How would we change our presentation, our approach, that type of thing? But it's a very good question. Like I said, we're gonna have those questions back and forth with the administrative team until we decide it's time to present to the board and ask for their approval or not. And then the board will dictate whether we go forward in May or not by their vote. Good question.
Smaller group of non-angry people too, for voters, so.
Yeah, something like that, maybe.
Something like that might help just a little bit.
I have a question for you, Kirsten, while you're on that and following up on this. What would you say to the taxpayers of this county about why they would want to pay more money
Why would they
every year?
Why
to
would they
support
Why would they not want to pay more money? I mean, it's the future of our next generation. I mean, why would you not invest in a child's future? I mean, to me, it's kind of stupid not to. I'd rather pay a few extra bucks to ensure that our future is gonna kind of have some solid heads on their chest. So.
It was less than 60 cents or something like that total?
No, actually, the bond was under 4 pennies and the TRE was 13. Yeah.
It's smaller than I thought it was.
Yeah.
When you walk through the campuses, whether it's our brand new high school or Bastrop that's been around forever, you can tell that there's improvements that are needed, not just in the building structure or the furniture or anything like that, but also in curriculum and in innovation and those kinds of technologies that are going to be needed in order for Bastrop and the students of Bastrop to be kept up with those standards for post-secondary readiness and things like that. It's, this money is not something that, I have to pay 17 more cents because the school district is trying to take more money to pay for Mr. Murray's salary. It's.
You had to go there. She had to go there.
Said at some point. You had to have known that was coming.
You were doing great till just at that moment.
She told me to be quiet a few times.
I know.
I was like, yes, ma'am.
For the advisory committee, and really do appreciate you being here, and as a board, our decisions a lot of times are focused towards staff and children, but we also have responsibility to the taxpayers, and those facilities that you're talking about are their facilities, okay? And so it's our job, it's not a popular job, to call a bond election and let them know, but there's a lot of study and there's a lot of evaluating and also a lot of prioritizing what's important or not important and how much burden can you put on the taxpayer. But like I said, we have to move this community forward. We have to reconfigure, and something like this decision is utilizing and maxing out our facilities to their maximum capacity before we go ask them to build a new facility. And so, Jake, to answer your question about, going out for one or two, we're in a legislative session right now about school financing and stuff like that. It doesn't look real promising. And so, those are all the things that we're evaluating.
Alex, I got to follow up on that. What would you say to the taxpayers of this county who don't have kids in the district, who don't have grandkids in the district? People who live here and don't really, are not necessarily involved with schools. Why would you, what kind of case would you make for them?
Well, I would say that the thing is that you live here, like when you move into some place and you decide that you're going to call a place home, that's your community thing. So, I definitely agree with what you said about, investing in the kids of the community that you're in. So.
Thank you.
Thank you all. You're very insightful.
It's awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Mark that down. They will be on the video.
I think you're going to be on the road.
Like open house where they can walk through Cedar Creek and see all the cracks in the walls.
And I can
Would you want your children walking under the sea?
And I can say, I'm super excited. I'm super excited.
Hannah, like I said, you were doing great.
Pass the bar. I'm super excited.
The thing about our students, there's no filter, which is great,
Yes,
especially with Ms. Thompson. There's zero filter there.
The school of horrors.
Zero filters, which is fine. It's fine.
It is
good.
fun. You should come to one of our meetings. Hey, we have a meeting tomorrow. You should come
Meeting
join.
tomorrow?
Yeah.
The good thing about using
Have
them
you
in the
not
video is
invited
we
them?
can edit the video.
Please edit my part. Please just cut out my introduction.
All right. James, you want to please close this thing
Thank
up?
you. Okay.
Save us from ourselves, please.
The board will now convene into closed session to discuss the following items posted on our agenda, allowed by the Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, Superintendent's Evaluation and Superintendent's Contract. Well, you brought it up, Hannah, so, now we have to go take care of it.
Invite them in. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's get paid for this. Yeah.
There you go, Miss.
Since the
It's now,
important people are gone.
it's now 8:45, and the board will reconvene into open session, and I will entertain a motion.
President, I move that the board authorize President James Allen to sign the contract with term and extensions to January 31st, 2020, as discussed in closed session.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. I'm gonna pass
He's
this.
paying attention, that's good.
It's moved and seconded to authorize the board president to sign the contract as discussed to January 31st, 2020. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you.
6-0. With
Mr.
that said,
President, I
we'll.
move we adjourn.
All right. Second, and we will adjourn. Thank y'all for hanging around.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank y'all.